And good morning at 7:04 on this Tuesday, October 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. Here we are on a Tuesday morning and we welcome you to Coleman and Company, live, spontaneous, and unrehearsed as we say, and brought to you today by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And today we'll be featuring the city of Mount Juliet and we'll join Justin Beasley momentarily. But right now it's time for today's Health Minute presented by Vanderbilt Wilson. Nearly 40 million Americans are living with diabetes. Making a few healthy lifestyle changes can significantly reduce your chances of being diagnosed with diabetes. Excess weight is the single most important cause of type 2 diabetes. Losing weight is the quickest way to prevent disease progression and can be done with intensive exercise for 30 minutes a day. Activities such as walking or cycling can help you lose weight and maintain healthy blood sugar levels. A new exercise routine should also be complemented with a balanced diet. Eating plenty of fiber as well as plant-based foods and fats is beneficial for gut health and weight management. Consuming healthier food choices and avoiding large portion sizes can help prevent spikes in blood sugar and insulin, which may help reduce your risk of developing diabetes. For more information, visit VanderbiltWilsonCountyHospital.com. And let's again review Life's Essential 8. Improving and maintaining cardiovascular health can help you enjoy a longer, healthier life, and it can start by eating better, be more active, quit tobacco, get healthy sleep, manage weight, control cholesterol, manage blood sugar, and manage blood pressure. This all presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And now let's go to the telephone, and we're going to talk with Justin Beasley, who is the Mount Juliet Communications Director. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Happy Tuesday. Yeah. Always glad to have the opportunity to talk to your large audience about the great things in Mount Juliet.
Good to hear from you this morning. Good to have you with us, of course. And I guess we'd just jump right in. What's the latest?
So you normally ask me if we have a commission meeting, and we did not last night. It was the first Monday of the month. And as you know, I come on this program the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. Well, we've only had one Monday so far, so really nothing to recap as far as the actual city commission meetings are going.
Well, I'm glad you reminded us of that little calendar quirk, and there's almost nothing we can do about it. We would have to change our schedule when the calendar is different, and that would kind of upset the apple cart, if you know what I mean. The way it is, we know which Tuesdays you're supposed to be here. We know which one Tracy Pope is going to show up, and we don't want to mess that up, right?
We know we can't bounce Tracy Pope from anything. She is, if you didn't know, she's going to hate me for this. She is the newest member of the Watertown High School Hall of Fame, so I'm going to have to get a lot more clout if I'm ever going to knock her off of her spot.
Well, we're pretty happy like it is. It just happens that every once in a while when you show up, when you come on, we have not had a commission meeting the evening before. But I think it's worked well over the years, and we always appreciate having you. One thing I have appreciated about you, no matter how little there may be to talk about, we always find something. Of course, your background in sports doesn't hurt anything there. And speaking of sports, I'd like to remember 2 days in a row Vanderbilt's big win over Alabama last Saturday.
Oh, man. It was incredible. You know, I saw the score. I think it was 14-0. I was at my dad's at the pool, and then I saw it was like still a sizable lead at halftime, and I didn't turn it on until late in the fourth quarter because, you know, you think Vanderbilt is going to lose the lead because you know the type of team Alabama is. And I'm kind of with some of the pundits that said it after the game. It was an upset, but it wasn't an accident. Now, I don't think if they played again, Vanderbilt would beat them. But Vanderbilt is a really good team with a really good quarterback, and I don't think they took Alabama lightly. Alabama probably looked at them as less than, and that was the result. And you don't see results like that. I think it might be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, upset in college football history. I'm willing to go that far.
Well, I think it, as far as in my lifetime, it's Vanderbilt football's greatest victory of all the years, and that goes back to the 40s. It's great. But on the same token, this is Big Orange country, and there are a lot of UT fans here. And who would have thought that they would go to Arkansas? Now, that was an upset, of course. UT was rated considerably higher than the Razorbacks in the polls and all of this, but that's why they play them. But it was not a good performance by the Vols at all.
No, and the only thing that made Saturday a little bit better for Vanderbilt fans than it already was to end the night watching University of Tennessee lose. I'm definitely not dancing on that grave. And, Tennessee's still got a chance to make the playoffs because of the way it's set up this year. But, they got a big game against Florida. Arkansas always seems to have their numbers, especially in Arkansas. And, again, Coleman, that is exactly why they play them. I think the best thing about sports is the unscripted theater, and that's why we watch the games. That's why they play them. And if we already knew the end result, I don't think sports would be what it is today. I love the theater aspect of sports more than anything.
Well, let's draw Mount Juliet into the picture a little bit here. You've got two high schools down there, and they both have pretty good sports programs. Aren't the Golden Bears undefeated?
I think Green Hill, if I'm not mistaken, is undefeated as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're on a trajectory path of both being undefeated when they play for the Mayor's Cup presented by Volunteer State Bank. I think they play on Halloween night, so that ought to be a really, really good matchup.
Yeah, you've got an inner-city rivalry there now that never existed before, and when we remember back when Watertown used to beat Mount Juliet, I mean, that's ancient history, I guess, for most people, but it happened. Who would think that Mount Juliet would grow so much to have two high schools competing for an important championship?
Absolutely, and a number one seed and being able to host some games when they get in the playoffs as far as a region standpoint is concerned. And they've got a couple of different styles. Mount Juliet likes to keep it on the ground and kind of out-physical you, and Green Hill, from what I see, likes to spread the ball around, chunk it around, and has a fun style that they play with. So when those two teams meet and the two different brands meet and two different sides of the town meet, it's a fantastic game. Regardless of the record, you really throw them out the door, especially with the familiarity that the kids have. It's really who brings it, who wants it more for that game. And I think, and no disrespect to their opponents, but they've got a favorable schedule up until they meet, just with the kind of programs that each of the two schools have built to this point.
I want to switch gears abruptly here, Justin. We've got an election coming up. In fact, yesterday was the deadline to get registered, but early voting is going to be here. It starts next week, I believe, and goes through the end of the month, and Election Day on the 5th of November. You've got some competition to be on the Board of Commissioners in Mount Juliet.
That's my understanding, yes, sir. A couple of spots are up for grabs. As I've said for the longest, the only five that I've worked for are the current five that are in there. They have done and privileged to work for them. The election season is up, and I know a lot of eyeballs are on that locally in Mount Juliet and on a national level with the presidency as well. So we just I pray normally before the commission meetings, and I just challenge and urge people to pray for our country, pray for those that are elected and those that are in authority, because that's what Scripture says. So that's what I normally stick to, and that's my safe answer to that, Coleman.
Yeah. Well, but there is some there. Usually when somebody throws their hat in the ring, running against an incumbent. They either don't like some things that person has done or maybe stands for, or they just think they can do a better job, I suppose, or some just want that position. There's always a reason, but you take somebody that's been in there a long time. They are seasoned and know the ropes, so to speak. There's a lot to learn when you get in a legislative body or any other really public office, but especially being on the board of commissioners or being an alderman for the city of Lebanon, with all that you need to know, and you just don't learn that overnight. So I guess experience has to be weighed in the people's choice and how good they think somebody's done. But then sometimes it's more a popularity contest. So I don't know how this is all going to be.
The way I've always understood it is it takes great boldness to pull a petition and put your name out there and get your signatures and to, to try to challenge something like that. We meet with people that, have a desire to do that, and we just tell them, thank you for participating in this structure of government. It works to its best ability when more people are participating. And, it's kind of like a head coach. You get hired to one day be fired. I hope that's not a bad example for government, but, whoever's in that seat right now, once upon a time, wanted to take it from somebody else. So I think competition is healthy. And of course, the great thing about America is the people have the power, and they can show that on the national and local level. And we encourage them to do so because that's their right.
All right, Justin Beasley's with us. He's the Mount Juliet Communications Director. We're going to talk more after we take a break here. Again, a reminder, our program is presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, high performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated number 1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's trying to improve from a wreck we had earlier, slowing down that traffic coming in from the Jolton area on 24 eastbound at Briley Parkway there north of town. It's increased now pretty good on 40 westbound in from Wilson County as you work your way through Hermitage into Donaldson on 40 west here at the airport here at Donaldson Pike. 24, not bad actually as you come out of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County, but it's building on 24 westbound up through the Antioch area. Prince's Hot Chicken has new items on their new menu. You can check them out today. Order online. It's easy. PrincesHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Where a patient starts their cancer care matters. And here, that means Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, Wilson County. It's Vanderbilt-level care without making the drive to Nashville. From screening to diagnosis to treatment and recovery, patients can get all the care they need right here close to home. So now, having the best care team and most advanced treatment is closer than ever. Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, making cancer care personal.
Please join us at our 14th annual Ghost in the Grove walking tours. Storytellers share tales of ghostly encounters and local folklore in your night with a trolley ride through the spooky woods. Friday, October 11th and Saturday, October the 12th. Tours begin at 6 p.m. with the last at 9. Discount tickets are available at fiddlersgrovetn.com or at the gate. Children 5 and under are free. Music and food will be available as you wait for your tour. Located at the James E. Ward Agricultural Center in Lebanon, rain or shine.
And we continue here on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. Always our thanks to our guests, whoever they are. And I can just say that nearly 31 years doing this program. I think next Monday is the official 31st anniversary of Coleman and Company. I started 2 weeks after the station started back there in what was it? What year was it? 93. Anyway, and
Coleman, I'm 31 years of age, so that math tracks. I was born in 93.
Okay.
I'm so sorry the program has gone downhill where you have to have me on, but I appreciate the opportunity.
No, we appreciate you, Justin. One of the things that I have discovered about you, if we don't have a lot of Mount Juliet business or current events of the city to talk about necessarily, we always manage to come up with something, and you can talk about almost anything and at length about most things. And then I think, well, maybe that's why you did well in television and why communications is your bag, so to speak.
Yeah, I had presented last week at Mayor Hutto's panel about economic development and planning with Jennifer Hamlin with the City of Mount Juliet, our Development Services Director. And we had a big panel up there, and somebody came up to me after and said, "You could sell ice to an Eskimo." I said, Am I that bad? Because, I felt like a used car salesman. And he's like, "No, you're not that bad." I'm like, I don't know if I take that as a compliment. I mean, I wouldn't say that I can discuss a lot at length, but I guess I know just enough to be dangerous. And Coleman, you talked on the radio enough. I mean, you just, for some reason, the adrenaline gets to kicking when you're live on air, and you somehow seem to be smarter overnight. You know what I mean? I guess I've got that same thing.
What once the election is over and we know who's going to be there, and that's not far away, what direction, what are some of the biggest challenges maybe that you see facing the next Board of Commissioners? And it may be all the same. There may be a change or two. I honestly don't know much about the political landscape there, but whoever's there, what's it going to be? What are we going to see? Many changes. Mount Juliet headed pretty much solidly in the right direction from your viewpoint.
Well, from what I've learned from all past commissions and just kind of having a pulse on the city, is we always get our best work done when everybody works together. And kudos to our commission for doing that. We've never invested more into our roads and infrastructure. We have a plan that's forecasted that we're in unison about. We have a good financial background. As you know, we're one of 7 cities with a AAA bond rating. We have a great median income that competes at the highest level within the state. So we're in a really good spot, and we just want to keep on keeping on. I continue to say we're in our prime. Our best years are ahead of us in the city of Mount Juliet. And I think that if we continue to grow responsibly and at a good pace, I think everything will work itself out. But, Mark Hinesley, our president of our chamber in Mount Juliet, has said it best. We're kind of reaping the benefits from what our ancestors sowed, and we want to continue to do that. We want to continue to give them credit and really just not mess it up more than anything. And I think, with a like-minded board of commissioners, a great city manager in Kenny Martin, they've done some fantastic work. And, I'm with them a lot. And, of course, they're putting out fires every day, and they hear some of the negative stuff from our citizens, which is going to come. And, that's the only way to get better, is to know what the gripes are. But I often remind them, man, that, everybody's like, what's the goal of Mount Juliet? What's next? And I said, we want to create a slice of heaven. We've got great school systems that many people move here for. We are improving our infrastructure. We have great police, the best police department in the state, if you ask me. We have a great fire department. ISO 3 started at a 10. Will soon one day be a 1 under Mark Foltz, our new fire chief that's been there a little more than a year. And we have an EMS division. All of that with a 11-cent property tax. And we're very dependent upon sales tax, which a lot of people are shopping local and will continue to do during this Christmas season. So if I'm going to broadcast our recipe to the country, that's what it is, and it works for us, and we hope to keep that ingredient going.
Well, Justin, I know you're not the finance director and that sort of thing, but you...
Not even close to it, Coleman.
You have a very low tax rate. I think you have a good rainy day fund, although I hadn't really checked on that. But
Great.
I'm just wondering, and what if you got big to spend money on, or is there anything to really come along to upset the apple cart, to mess everything up. It seems like you're headed on a steady path for the future, but you have to consider all the possibilities. Things really look rosy as we head for the next 5-10 years in Mount Juliet.
Listen, there's always going to be expenses, and I think one of the struggles, I wouldn't call it struggle, but we've got about 32 square miles in Mount Juliet, and if you're going to be able to provide the parks, the city, functions, being able to have the land to house all these employees that we need to offer these services, we've got to capture land ourselves just as much as, developers. And I think Kenny Martin has done a really good job at trying to buy land and buy buildings that are going to serve the city beneficial, whether that means, like a daycare center by the police department that's going to go to our parks, whether it be, Clemens Road, where we're going to potentially build a new park, where we have our public works and codes and all that set up right now on Clemens Road. Like, you got to have that forecast. And also give credit to Kenny Martin, too, as far as being frugal. We know him to be the frugalest man alive, as Ray Justice has said quite a few times. And that has allowed the city to be in a power position where that rainy day fund that is there doesn't handicap us. If anything, it enables us to continue to do our job for our citizens at a high level during a period of time where there's financial turmoil within our country. But we haven't felt that in Mount Juliet, and that just speaks to the bones and the DNA that we have, that we haven't taken a step back when unfortunately a lot of cities in the country have, and that's just really because of the nature of the world and what it's been looking like since COVID.
Well, I want to think that not only in Mount Juliet, not only Lebanon, Wilson County, but most of the state. I know we have some poor spots, and we have some counties that can maybe barely keep their head above the water, I guess, and a couple of our municipalities are maybe even worse. But for the most part, here in Tennessee, we seem to try to live within our means, to not go overboard in spending and not have so much debt. And that's one of the things I appreciate about our local and state government. And I think that really bodes well here for all of us in Wilson County, that we are fiscally responsible. We try our best not to live within our means and not to go overboard in spending and things you pointed out here. It seems that's almost the mode of operation for the city of Mount Juliet.
Yeah, and you can always be better, but I just think, as I mentioned, fire, police, parks, you also got school systems. We get the things that families want to get right. If you can't master those and you got something else, maybe that is somebody else's flavor. But, if you're looking at quality of life and raising a family and one in a good spot, that, you're going to have values instilled in you, I don't think there's a better place than Mount Juliet. Again, a lot of people get upset when people move here in droves just because of how good it is in Mount Juliet. But I've always said, and I told Mayor Hutto this last week, that should be a feather in the cap for an elected body, whether it be on the county or city side. Somebody chooses to move to Mount Juliet, they said yes to Mount Juliet and no to every other city. Just like when we make a decision to do something with our time, we say yes to that and no to everything else. That's a huge compliment to what we have in the city of Mount Juliet. And again, if we do it responsibly, I think everybody wins in the end. And I just think we have a slice of heaven here, and I think there's no further proof than seeing all the people that want to call Mount Juliet home. And it's competitive. Let's not get that misconstrued. We'd only have 32 square miles. We only have so many houses, and a lot of people are vying for those spots. They really are, Coleman.
Well, we're in our last minute and a half here. Anything coming up that you want to mention? Of course, you'll have a Board of Commissioners meeting next Monday night, and we'll hear about that sometime later. Go ahead.
Yeah, safety night is at Charlie Daniels Park this Thursday. October 10th from 5 to 8. We're going to have a non-sensory hour from 5 to 6 where there'll be no lights, no sirens, no music or anything as far as stimulating devices, again, from 5 to 6. But really what this event is police and fire, our friends in Lebanon, the sheriff's office, also the Tennessee State Trooper Highway Patrol. We're all going to come out. This is presented by Volunteer State Bank, feed you hot dogs, give you a Coke, and really just show you what you're paying for. Meeting some of our brave men and women that are first responders, letting you get in a police car, letting you get in a fire truck, take home some swag. We had a great turnout last year. We usually do this within our police department, but as you know, we're building a new police department that's under construction right now, so we now do this at Charlie Daniels Park. Great crowd last year, going to be a great crowd this year. And listen, it's fall break. Not everybody can go to Seaside, and maybe some people are even coming back, from the storms that are coming in. But if you don't have anything to do, want to get the kids a free meal, come to Charlie Daniels Park, meet our brave men and women, our first responders. We think we have the best in the state, and we want you to meet them.
And again, that's when?
That is Thursday from 5 to 8 at Charlie Daniels Park. Yes,
right.
Sir. More information on our Facebook pages.
All right. All right, Justin, thanks for being with us this morning. Our time is up, and that is part one of Coleman and Company, and brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Brought to you by Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated number 1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Just about through with that earlier wreck we had on 65 southbound near Rosa Parks. There's still some flashing lights over there as they wrap up the scene of that accident. Now it's heavy coming inbound out of Wilson County on 40 through Hermitage, Donaldson, all that heavy traffic there at Spence Lane. Busy, but it's moving 24 westbound up through the Antioch area as that traffic continues to build in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County towards Nashville. Whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, anything going on with your roof, call Independent Roofing Specialist, IRSroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
We'll have sunny and nice weather again for today. Highs in the mid-70s. Clear and cool tonight. Lows in the middle 40s. And then sunny and nice again on Wednesday. Highs back in the mid-70s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your Severe View forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. It is a Tuesday. Tuesdays at this time, we feature Hearthside Senior Living, and John Dozier's here most mornings to tell us what's going on. He's here today, the Executive Director of Hearthside, Sean Dozier. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Nice to see you again.
Congratulations on the Commodores. You were talking about it earlier. I was a Vandy fan back in the 80s when I was a kid, and then I switched over to the Orange. But I should have stayed a Vandy fan. I tell you, it was a great night for them, a great night for you.
It really was. The quarterback in '84 when they beat Bama, it wasn't the guy from Shelbyville, and I've been trying to think of his name all week. I can't think of his name. Well, we'll think of it after a while. We don't.
But I was in the stands in the '80s. My dad took me to those games, and that's before we had anything in Nashville that you could go watch. But Vanderbilt was basically the only game in town besides the Sounds. But it was a great night for Vandy, and I thought about you Saturday night.
Well, thank you. And the other quarterback that beat Bama back in was Watson Brown.
Watson Brown. Yeah. He's still on the air. He's on George Plaster's show on Facebook.
Yeah. All right. What's happening at Hartside?
Well, Hartside's going great, Coleman. I was out with some health issues a couple of days, and the staff really picked up and did a great job, and I appreciate them very much. Things are going great. We had a lady move in who's in her late 80s last week, and she's doing great. We have a couple who's on our waiting list. They're waiting for a medium or a large room, and I'm excited about that. We haven't had a couple in a long time, actually, since COVID. We haven't had two people in a room, and they're going to move in when we have a room available. And when we have that situation, Coleman, we only charge them a percentage of the cost, so it's less for that second person when somebody moves in. So we've had many couples in the past move into our large or medium rooms. They're about the same size, and they do quite well. And we're licensed for 49. We have 44 rooms, so we can take couples when we can. So we have several people on our waiting list who have jumped on here recently, and business is good. It's amazing. People talk about the population growth, but it's good for business. It's good for our assisted living. It's been really good for our independent living folks moving in here, but not only do we have folks locally that move in, sell their farms, sell their houses to move to our independent living homes, we also have people that have moved in here who really like the concept, and we are full in our independent living as well. So business is good, Coleman. I think our price structure we often talk about is very good. We don't nickel and dime you. We give you a contract that is easy to read. We don't try to sneak in any details at the end. We give you one price, and people really appreciate that, and they keep coming back. Last week we had a memorial service for somebody who passed away 2 weeks ago, and we have served his mother, and we served his uncle, and we talked about how we continue to serve families generationally, and I really think that's a testament to not only the people in the past that have been at Hartside, but those people that are there now who are doing a great job.
I'm going to ask you something, since you mentioned this here. We've talked about maybe expanding the retirement community, but with the waiting list that you've got here and more people wanting assisted living, have you thought about expanding that or making more available?
Well, as I mentioned, we're licensed for 49, so we could add 4 or 5 more rooms. And, we thought about part of our discussion is whether we build some more independent living homes or whether we build some more assisted living suites. We have room. We have a 4th wing. Originally, Hartside was 2 wings when they opened it up back in 1994. And then about 2004, they opened up a 3rd wing, which was the medium and large rooms. So there is definitely an opportunity to build a 4th wing onto the assisted living where we could add several more assisted living rooms, and that's on the table. So we're going to see how it goes. Whether we can't do it all, but we can do one or the other.
Yeah. Well, but you're a popular place, and of course, as we point out from time to time, a lot of that maybe does have to do with being locally owned and managed.
Well, I often say, you're just a phone call away from a decision, and that's me. So you can text me or call me. The families all have my cell phone number. All the residents, even the people in the assisted living, have my number, and they call me. And folks in the independent living, they have my number. So
You're pretty close to the whole.
I really am, because I just like to solve the problem quickly and not have it grow. A spark doesn't have to become a fire. So we like to make decisions very quickly and solve them quickly. Our maintenance director, our admissions front office, Janet, she's awesome. Cindy, she's awesome. Our nurse manager, our cooks, they're all available, and you don't have to go through some power structure to get to a decision. We make the decisions locally, and it's really proved to be great. The folks that just moved into our independent living, we had folks that moved in a couple of weeks ago to one of our 3-bedroom homes. I mean, they even commented, this has just been the easiest process that they've ever experienced. They sold their home in Del Webb. We waited a month or two till they closed on their house, and they were able to move in seamlessly, and that's just what it's about. It's about serving the folks, making them feel comfortable, because this really is a season of their life that they're going to live, and I just want them to feel comfortable when they move in. Want them to have a great experience, and it pays off. I promise you.
All right, I guess it's time for a Hearthside Hello.
Well, my Hearthside Hello is to the entire staff at Hearthside. They have really pulled through the last couple of weeks, and I really appreciate it. They have just jumped through hoops and picked up things and done things, and they've just been fantastic. So my Hearthside Hello goes to everybody at Hearthside, the staff, even the residents. They're just fantastic. So that's my Hearthside Hello. Kind of corny this morning to do that, but I wanted to do it.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Well,
See you
thank
next time.
See you. Bye.
All right. Sean Dozier, he is Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. You can always reach him at 615-443-1994. About 20 and a half minutes away from the hour, and Jeff Luttrell, our Director of Schools for Wilson County, is here this morning. Jeff, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
This is fall break, right?
It is first week of fall break.
You got 2 weeks?
Well, we got Friday and Monday and Tuesday, and then everybody be coming back. So
okay. Well, it's a good week and a half anyway.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, always good to see you. You have apparently not gone out of town. You're right here with us. What do you do? What do you do for these 10 days or so?
Well, I'll be in the office. The work never stops, and but I will be taking a couple of days off here at the end of the week, kind of get out of the office. But we've got a lot going on. Business is normal.
Well, one of the things that you have done, and we have our schedule as best we can after one of your one of your meetings, the Board of Education meetings. It used to nearly always be, unless the calendar prevented it, on the first Monday night in the month. But then I think you told us 2 or 3 months ago you were going to start having 2 meetings a month, and you've already implemented that, I understand.
We have, and last night would have been our regular schedule because it was fall break. We'd moved it back to last week. So, we have started the 2 meetings a month, and we'll see how that goes and see what the board wants to do on that, if they want to continue. But so far it has helped in a lot of areas, just convenience of moving things through and along. And so far, so good.
Has it shortened maybe the meetings a little bit less lengthy than they were because of this?
It has. The last meeting was about an hour meeting. And we'll just have to watch that. That's not why we did it, but a meeting that goes 3, 4, 5 hours, it might be better served to divide that up, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Well, we'll get to your meeting in just a moment, but I think I want to mention this even right now. I think you've dealt with this and are dealing with it, but calls, threats, people calling and saying whatever kind of threat there is, and it disrupts the education process, messes everybody's days up, and the law enforcement has to be called, and they've been very involved with this. Your comments, what's going on, what's being done?
Well, as everyone knows, we have had several, and it seems to be another nationwide thing that's going on. And we've dealt with several here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, month. And it's just, our message now is when you see these things that are on social media or sent through some kind of electronic device, we're encouraging our students and our parents to report it. Don't post it. Don't forward it on. Report it to an administrator, to law enforcement. Our law enforcement community is excellent, and we need to look at that and determine and investigate that. What happens when you post them and you forward it, and we're having some kids do that, and that's the world they live in. Everything you get, you forward on. And so what's happening, when you get these things, so much fear. We dealt with a couple that were a month old from another state. And so when you keep posting it, it just keeps spreading, and that fear factor, of our parents and of our teachers, there's a fear factor when you see that. And so you're right. It does disrupt the process, the educational process. So we've been working on that, trying to get the information out to post it now, or to report it, not post it, but to report it. Let us look at it. Let the professionals look at it. We've had a couple that were not credible, but they still cause a disruption. And so when we deal with that, we will be punishing those students and those involved. I want to thank our sheriff department and our local police departments. All of them have been involved, Mount Juliet, Watertown, and they've done a tremendous job tracking down and finding out who's responsible for those. But that's been a pretty trying thing, and
Are you endeavoring maybe to make an example out of some of these?
Well, it's not making an example. It's been in place for years. We've had that in our policy, our discipline policy, and we will follow our discipline policy, and it's pretty strong discipline. And so we've got to get that message out. We do out of this. We're going to partner with Lebanon Special School District. It'll be coming up in, I think it's December the 5th. We're still working on a location to be determined. And we had a meeting a couple weeks ago with some community leaders. We're going to bring in, there's an informational, not necessarily a training, but it's an informational meeting that TBI puts on. And we're calling it Enough's Enough. And what this, we're going to partner with, and we're going to invite every parent in Wilson County, whether it's you're in our school system, whether you're in a private school, maybe even a homeschool parent. We're going to invite people to come in and listen to what TBI can show them. It'll be for adults only. No kids will be allowed for it. But there's some things going on in our social media that are having a major impact on our students and their minds and their actions and what they're doing. And so I have participated in this once before. It's amazing what's available to a young person on that phone. And so we're going to try to educate our parents and partner with Lebanon Special School District to bring this to our county to try to get this information. Our technology advances are great, but it's very, very important that we also are monitoring that with our young people.
Okay, well, I felt like it was better to get this out first here this morning. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about last Thursday night's school board meeting with Jeff Luttrell, our director of schools, here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts oil. Tax and disposal, $17.80 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still a lot of volume trying to get up out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County right now on 24 westbound. Coming into Davidson County up through Antioch. It continues to run a little bit heavy from time to time from some earlier problems we had on 24 east at the Jolton exit. There's still a lot of volume making its way down through Millersville, through that section of Sumner County on 65 going southbound, coming down from the north. Hey, Nash Painting, a non-franchise painting company, mention this ad, get a 10% discount. Call Nash Painting today at area code 615-912-2288. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
And now, a moment of silence to remember our dear friend.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. With a wide range of air conditioners, furnaces, and heat pumps, Rheem makes it easy to feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Drug Free Wilco is partnering with local law enforcement agencies for National Drug Take Back Day on Saturday, October 26. Drop-off locations will be at Gibbs Pharmacy, Walgreens on West Main, Three Forks Marketplace, and TriStar Mount Juliet ER. Unused medications are a public safety issue that may lead to accidental poisoning, overdose, or misuse. Drop them off Saturday, October 26 from 10 to 2. Receive a free lot box from Drug Free Wilco. This project is funded under a grant contract with State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
And we welcome you to our final segment of Coleman & Company here on a Tuesday morning. And if you joined us late, we have our Director of Schools, Jeff Luttrell, here, Wilson County schools director. We're going to get to last Thursday night's school board meeting now, and anything of significance that we need to talk about there. Let's hear it, Jeff.
Well, we'll probably cover the last two meetings since it's been a while since I've been out here. Probably the biggest thing is we have, the board did approve a contract for the Central Pike Elementary, and we'll be breaking ground, trying to set a groundbreaking will be here 1st of November, gets that elementary building out. To last week's board meeting, we did bring rezoning plans for next school year. Hopefully, we're planning on being in Legardo Elementary, opening that building, and so we went ahead and rezoned some of those elementaries, West Elementary and some others, and tried to balance our numbers in our elementaries, and also West Wilson's nearing capacity already. So we went ahead and adjusted some zones for our middle schools, Mount Juliet Middle and West Wilson, to try to balance those numbers. And that took some time, a lot of discussion, and rezoning is hard when you start moving families. And so that passed.
Where does that start? And is this something out of your office you come up with, then the board approves? Or what's the system?
It is. The way we have handled the last couple, we've handled it internally. And the first place you start is, of course, you look at your building capacities and where you're at. We monitor that on a regular basis. But when you get ready to rezone, what we're doing now is we're working closely with our bus transportation department in determining routes and what can be done and what can't be done. We're trying to keep communities together, subdivisions together if all possible. And so we work on that and we get those numbers and we literally get down to streets and houses and student names and just to identify where are our kids at, where are they located. And once we get that, then we present it to the board. And we had a community meeting, Mount Juliet High School, well attended, and out of that meeting we had it was available to scan a QR code and then make your comments in there, and that way then we get all of those comments, we look at them, and then we forward those on to the board members. It's a great way to communicate with them, but that did pass, and so they made some concessions. The terminating grade will be able to stay at their school, and what it's going to do once we get this thing balanced, even these schools now will go back to open zone for a year. So if we've got some families that want to stay and provide their transportation, they'll be able to do that. So that was probably the biggest thing that took place. And again, that's very, very difficult. Those are difficult decisions. We don't take those lightly. But you see the pace we're growing at, that has to be a part. And rezoning is a part of our overall plan. If we're our relationship with the county commission has been tremendous here in the last 4 years, and how they have funded our new schools, and we feel like that we have the responsibility. It's hard to ask for a new school when you've got 200 seats sitting over here in another school, and as these new developments come in, you're always shifting. We don't like that. Personally, I wish I never had to rezone, but we have to maximize our building program and keeps us on track. And we're working off that 5-year plan, and that's just where we're at. So we took care of that, and that was a good thing.
How disruptive is this? For some people, I'm sure it's easier than others, and a lot maybe it depends on their background and this sort of thing. But it's a necessary thing, as you pointed out.
It is, and for a family, it can be very disruptive, and I understand that. Personally, I went to, I think, 8 different schools. A transition to school can be difficult. But now I will say we're fortunate. We've got great schools, and we got great school communities. And it's hard when a family comes in, buys a home in an area and thinks this is where I'm going to go, and they're sitting on the fringe of a zone. And then within 18 months to 2 years, you've got 2 other developments pop up, 300 homes here, 400 homes here. It does require us to take a look, and it's a necessary thing that we have to do, and we don't take it lightly. But we want to go ahead and do it, get it out.
People generally understand. I can understand how difficult this might be, but at the same time, just as you pointed out, if you got one school with 200 empty seats over here, you can't go ask the county commission for money to expand another one or build a new one or whatever.
I do think they generally understand. One of the things that come out of our community meeting was a lot of comments that, for example, I looked at some that would say, I don't like it, but after I see it and it's explained, I understand why you've got to do it. And so we try to make that painless as possible. But now there
can be disruptive to teachers too.
It can be. We're working internally on that. Yes, what we're doing. These are the things we're doing this week. We've got to open up a new school, and we'll get into here in the next month or so with our staffing on that of how you move teachers. Obviously, you want to do it volunteer if possible, but if not, as population shift, you may have to shift some teaching positions.
All right, well, I guess that's enough about that. Anything else from your board meeting you want to mention this morning?
No. I mean, that was the big thing, and there'll be some more information coming out about Glaveville Elementary at our next board meeting. I think they've got a name. The naming committee has set, and I'll be bringing their as a recommendation to the board for naming that Central Pike Elementary School. That's always fun to hear the community get involved in that. And so that'll be the big thing, and we'll be breaking ground and starting another elementary school.
Once this gets built, how long before we're doing another one? Or are we going to have a little lull here maybe?
Well, we're watching it. We've got a 5-year plan, but that 5-year plan, I told somebody, I think yesterday, you have the best plan in the world, and 500 home subdivisions get approved, and that plan goes out the window. You have to go back in and look at it. So we're just monitoring it. We'll be watching, and we want to keep our capacity at 90% if possible. And really, the latest move of the rezoning and getting Lagardo and then bringing on a Central Pike is really going to help our elementary. The question is the growth going to outpace that? Mm-hmm. Looking at some numbers is possible. And so, what's next? We're looking at possibly another middle school somewhere in the Mount Juliet area, or it could be the 109 area. You have to start looking your next high school. Where is that? What's that look like? And then, we've got a situation at Watertown Middle. We can't forget about that school.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that if you didn't bring it up. What's anything been done much there?
Well, if you remember last year, we surveyed the community, mm-hmm. and they were pretty overwhelmingly, they want a new facility. And we've looked at numbers, and it's hard for me to justify bringing a recommendation of a $40 million reno or a $38 million reno estimate, when for $45 you can put those students in a new building. It's going to last another 50, 60 years. So we're looking at some property, and once we have that, may have something ready to bring to the board to start investigating, look at some property.
But you are working on it.
Absolutely, because it's real easy that we can get caught in our own little world and just be narrow. I have to look at 21,000 students, basically 3,000 employees, and make these decisions. And that school is in need. Not population growth as much as just we have to do something, and it's the right thing to do, and I'll be pushing it forward.
Mm-hmm. What about your employment needs? Are you and I guess you always need even if you don't have an exact opening, you like somebody to drive a bus in case somebody gets sick.
We're still hiring bus drivers, and we will be continuing to do that. We're really in better shape than we've been. We do have a need for special education teachers, and we're partnering with some universities and got some local programs trying to do some things to help those. But, yeah, that's a need. And before we get off here, I do want to mention we are doing a disaster relief drive for East Tennessee out of our ATC. You can drop stuff off there. We're going to be helping with that, just devastating. We know what that's like. 4 or 5 years ago, we went through that same thing with the tornadoes, and now just to see that destruction. So we've reached out. We've kind of 2 counties, Carter County and Johnson County. We're gathering water, batteries, detergent. Talk to the directors of school there. This is what they're needing bad in their community right now. So anyone's interested at ATC, you can drop off products, and I know Mark's done a good job getting it out, and so we're working on that as well.
You got a deadline necessarily?
Well, we're going to look this week and see where we're at. If we have to, if we get enough stuff, we'll transport. But there's a lot of going on. I know there's a lot of churches, and I've talked to some of them. They've got trailers moving in and out, so it may be that we transport our stuff to them if it works out. But just whenever, and we'll be continuing this for the next few days.
You are collecting, though. And
we are collecting.
Doing your part, let's say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, we've come to the end of our time here. Thank you so much. Good meeting. Good to have you this morning. A lot of good information. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coleman.
All right, that is going to do it for Tuesday. I hope you join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. And until then, I wish you a terrific day.